Alright, welcome back to UrbanX TV. You know, Black Dot is here.
Yes, in the building.
For our weekly breakdown.
What's been going on out here?
Alright, so we had the Grammys on Sunday.
Grammys, yes.
President's State of the Union.
President's State of the Union.
There was an interview that came out on Vlad TV with the woman who accused Tupac of rape.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that.
That came out this week. It was a lot.
All right, so where we starting? First of all, subscribe.
Right.
Hit the bell. Yeah.
Do all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so first let's start with the Grammys. So Jay-Z was nominated for 8 different awards, and he didn't come away with any of them. Right. So a lot of people. I forgot what DJ in particular, but he said that him not winning, Jay-Z not winning, was further proof of, I guess, his power that he has now. So what did you think about that?
I agreed. It validated for me just how powerful he has become. See, we got to look at this from multiple levels. First of all, we know the content. And shout out to my son, you know what I'm saying, who did a remix to the Family Feud, who quickly said they'll give him these Grammys when he's talking about bricks, but now he's talking about building, you know, economics and all this, and now he won't get shit, something like that. That's the case that we're talking about. 8 nominations should have got him at least 3, 4 perhaps. Now, that's not a knock on Kendrick Lamar, who I thought had a phenomenal album. If either one of them won Album of the Year or back and forth, I'm happy with that because both of those albums were truly phenomenal. But I was noticing I wasn't hearing Jay-Z's album.
Yeah, that's true.
I was hearing loyalty almost every day. You know what I mean? So this is a war going on, right? Jay-Z now owns his own streaming service, right? So within that, he can now pretty much say what he wants. See, a lot of these artists want to say something, but they don't have the platform and means to do so without affecting the bottom line. So that was a boss move on Jay-Z's part to own his own streaming service before he delivered the goods. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's a significant part of what we're talking about here. I'm embarrassed, and I'm going to say it, that I'm not down with Tidal because we speak a lot about black ownership. You know what I'm saying? Supporting black businesses. And Jay-Z has his own streaming service, and I don't have a membership. I had a couple of free memberships, you know, because most of the products I have are Apple products and this and that. But that should be beside the point, realistically speaking. And it doesn't matter if you like Jay-Z or not, because money don't leave the Jewish community's hand until it passes through 22 other businesses. I'm pretty sure all of them people don't like each other. But the code is in place. This is what we're going to do to economically build our system up. And if Nipsey Hussle is correct, Tidal is paying more per million streams than any other service.
There's a lot of little small details that go into that.
Right.
But, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Jay-Z is in a war, a corporate war. So even if he owns his own streaming services, these Jews still own the radio stations. They still own those networks, so they can pump whatever they want to pump and shut his music out. And that's what it appears to have happened. As magnificent as the album was. You know, and I'm a big dude on growth, so I'm not going to hold everything else that Jay-Z did against Jay-Z. I'm in the moment. Let me hear the music. Does the music reach all my criterias? It does. It's repentful. It's educational. And, you know, then there are those, we'll talk about the Van Jones interview too, who feel that Jay-Z's out of touch with reality. We'll get to that in a minute. But just talking about the Grammys, I had a feeling Bruno Mars would win.
His album was crazy.
See, we have to be fair and we have to be honest in this. So I saw Jay-Z's album was crazy, Kendrick Lamar's album is crazy, and Bruno Mars' album is crazy. And I thought that Spanish song, you know, the one Spanish song that was up for
Despacito. That one?
Yeah, Despacito. I thought that might win because that song was hitting. I thought it would win maybe Song of the Year or something because it was all over the place. So, but again, to me, when I looked at Jay-Z in the front row, he's got 21 Grammys. He's a savage. I didn't see somebody bitter. I saw somebody who's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the hat, And now the next generation, it's their time, and they did pay homage to Jay-Z and things of that nature. He was there with his family. I didn't see that he was frustrated, in my humble opinion. Now, last year, I thought Beyonce should have won for that Lemonade.
Right.
An amazing, even Adele gets up there and says, this is basically Beyonce's award.
Right.
Let's cut the bullshit. You know what I mean? And this year, Jay-Z, you know, if he wins it, he does. If he doesn't, but they nominated him for 8. I'm not even sure if that's the most nominations without a win. So somebody out there needs to do the research on that to see if that's particularly the case. But he walked away empty-handed. And remember, this is a war. But if he's not looking for them for validation, he looked like he just was there because if you get nominated for 8, you probably should be in the building. He was right up in front. And he didn't hit the stage once. He did get some kind of Lifetime Achievement Award from Clive Davis the night before. He's highly recognized amongst his peers, in particular for his entrepreneurship and, you know, things of that nature. So other than that, I thought the Grammys were pretty cool, you know? So that was it.
So you don't think him, like, you think this is a statement by not giving him that award that they were trying to show like for everybody else? They were trying to set an example.
Well, this was the one album that went off script. How ironic is that? All the other albums he's talking about getting money, you know what I'm saying? He's better than you, yada yada. Now he dropped some jewels in there too about ownership along the way, the whole way. But this was the one album he went totally off script.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they still showing you because again, Kendrick Lamar album is being streamed because he don't own that shit.
Right.
Let's keep that a buck too, right? So he don't own that shit. I'm pretty sure he don't. Interscope probably owns that, right? So they'll reward him for his efforts, and his album wasn't dangerous per se.
Yeah.
I didn't even think certain aspects of Jay-Z's album wasn't, but he was speaking about ownership, entrepreneur, love, redemption, the family, legacy. All of these things are trigger words that we need to get our shit together.
Right.
Now, Kendrick Lamar had loyalty, fear he spoke about. He spoke about being humble. He spoke about love. So these albums almost mirrored each other in terms of the attributes that they were, you know, offering. You know, it's just that Jay-Z being in a position of more significant power, right? There's a war showing, dude, you got your own streaming services. We're going to wait you out until you fail. And he's going hard. And we're not even supporting that at the level that we should because we have our own prejudices about Jay-Z, right?
Right.
But we're preaching we need to get behind black ownership. Well, he owns that, at least most of it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he sold 33% of that to Sony or whatever, or one of these companies. You know what I mean? But he's still majority owner of it.
Right.
What he's going to have to realize is that he's laying a path that he may not reap all the benefits from.
Right.
He's trailblazing. This is all new territory. He saw what happened to Michael. He saw what happened to Prince. He saw, you know, I'm pretty sure he heard about what happened to Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And he's trying to forge ahead and be able to maintain all it is that he has acquired and set this in motion. He may not be here to see you, you know what I'm saying? Like King said, I might not get there with you, but, you know, I have a dream and shit.
So, going into the Van Jones interview, what did you think about that?
First of all, the nigga needed a haircut, all right? Let's just talk about that shit. But I love it because it's like he now...
Like above it, right?
Yeah, he's above that. Because
Yeah.
when you be billionaire white people on the train don't even know they billionaires because they got on dirty sneakers and cut up jeans, and we don't have to put ourselves in position as much to show off because his whiskers is coming in and shit. His hairline was all like kind of fucked up, and I was like, I like it. You know what I'm saying? He's going up and trying to bear himself, in my humble opinion, in a more natural state. I didn't like the move he did like this on, what was that, the New York Times. Yeah, his leg crossed like a 65-year-old fucking man or something. Maybe that's a rich move. I don't really know. But back to the interview itself, I thought it was great. I thought he spoke I don't know if they prepping him for some political roles or something. He was Van Jones' first interview, and he just called Trump a superbug. He was using it as an analogy that you have to get to the root of these problems and not keep spraying over them,
right,
and not dealing with the issues at hand. And I had no problems with that. He spoke about relationship. He spoke about, it was something else critical. When he was talking about that it's not about money, I sat up when he said that. Like, this nigga been talking about money his whole life.
Right.
But again, you should be able to grow as a person. I might come up here and tell you something, and in 2 years come and tell you something totally different. Critical thinkers have to be in position to change their position on things based on new information.
Right.
And I broke it down. Go see the Making of 444 Part 1 and 2. I was going to do 4 parts, but people started riding me like, really? And I was trying to give you the whole scenario that when you have children and you in love and your perception of things change, he's going to therapy, he's opening up because he probably was a closed book for so long that it brings about a new aspect of you. He's releasing, he's talking about his mom's situation. I don't care what nobody say. Your mom's is the greatest woman on earth. You know what I mean? Even more so than your pops at times, because your pops might have been there, he might have not been there. And if your mom's is going through something, whether you agree with it or not, you're going to ride with moms. And I had a lot of respect for that. You know what I mean? Right. That he finally came clean and said, Ma, I just want you to be happy. So all of those things I felt came through crystal clear in his interview with Van Jones. Now, we can nitpick on small things here and there, you know, because Van Jones even asked him about the Illuminati at the end of the interview. Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. And Jay-Z said, I'm a part of the new Illuminati? And kind of laughed it off or something. So, and I'm pretty sure he probably meant the new Black Excellence. Because, you know, he gave his brunch. Right. He gives an annual pre-Grammy brunch. And all the high rollers were there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was decked out. And that's the new form of excellence. What I have to say to that in justice, it's important that we don't just entertain people. Right. You know what I'm saying? We have all of this money, and most of it is in the realm of entertainment. Right. And entertainment, we're amusing people in a nutshell. Now, it's important to own your own entertainment, so that's step one. Bravo Diddy, bravo Khaled, bravo Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, the ones who are putting themselves in position to at least have some ownership. But at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Right. LeBron James dribbles a ball. Mm-hmm. That shit is entertainment, right? So it's important that when they get their revenue in, that it ain't just about entertainment. It's about education. It's about real estate. It's about all of these things, because we don't need more rappers and ball players. Right. We need doctors, lawyers, coders, you know what I'm saying, investors, scientists. We need this because that makes us a more diverse people in excellence. So when I look in the room and I see all these rappers and producers, and I go, that's cool, right? But we're the politicians. We are the coders who can change the world. We're all of these people, so we have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. But if you are going to be entertaining, at least you need to own that aspect of entertainment.
So why would you think people say he's out of touch, Jay-Z?
Because he has lofty dreams and visions. He's swinging for the fences, right? So we spoke about when he said, what's the line he used in one of them songs? You know, I bought the shit for $2 million. Flip that shit for $4 million. Turn that shit to $8 million. And I was trying to give the analogy for you, it may be 200, maybe 2,000 that you flip to 4,000, 4,000 to 8,000. We're on different levels. There's different levels to this shit. So his view of the world from where he sits is this is how he sees it. We economically need to put ourselves in better positions to do this and that and invest. And those at the bottom who are just struggling probably, you know what I'm saying? Because we all getting it. I'm sitting on 800K. It's just that the K is silent. You know what I mean? So we all out here, you know, balling and getting our shit together. So you have to get in where you fit in. Right. So I have no problems with his view or his perspective from where he's sitting. He's sitting at the top of the bottom, right? He's sitting at the top of the very bottom. Now they say your first million is the hardest to get, and then you make more. Maybe when he eclipsed the billion mark, it becomes more of a process because look how much knowledge, forget the money, look how much knowledge he has accrued, removing the fact that the Illuminati put him there. You know what I'm saying? And all that kind of shit, and he's a puppet for a mainstream society. All of that could be and is probably true to certain degrees, but it doesn't negate the fact that you still got to sit in board meetings. You still got to understand the ways of the corporate world. Money moves this shit, right? I don't care how else you want to dress it up. Classism is more prevalent than racism. Right. You got some millions, you could move with the shakers. You know what I mean? Because they trying to get their hands on that money. And when you have an issue with a politician, you're supposed to go grease that politician's hand. Right. So when the Russians do it, Italians, Jews.
Yeah, I watched Godfather over again this weekend.
Okay.
That's all they did.
That's all they did. Listen, we having a problem with this. Let's go clear these ways. Right. We have to be on that same vibe. We got to clear ways. We can't go out there protesting and expecting results. That's not the way of the world in corporate and political, and all of this shit is one entity now. You know what I mean? The corporations run all this shit. America's a corporation within itself. That's why we have a president, right? Right. And he's the goddamn CEO and all that old kind of shit, because this is structured, you know, in that capacity.
Okay, so talking about the president, Trump had his first State of the Union. So did you watch it?
I did.
What did you think?
I mean, it was so scripted and so terrible, the way these people were trying to... But then I looked into the audience and I said, this is all a game. All of this shit is one huge game. Right. You know what I mean? And they standing up every 30 seconds and he never addressed anything and took credit for everything Obama did. Right. You know what I mean? So if the economy is doing better, you think it just got better in 1 year? That's not the way economics work. And there's a process by which this takes place.
I mean, I wrote about this too. He took... Well, by not addressing things, it made it easier for people, because if he would address some of those things, a lot of it would have implicated himself.
Right, absolutely, right? Absolutely.
Like a lot of the biggest issues. So by addressing those things, he would have kind of left himself wide open for those body blows that people would have gave him. And it's weird the way people who support him kind of just gloss over the hypocrisy in what he says.
It's programming on the highest,
it's weird,
highest level. This man can do no wrong in a lot of these people's eyes. Yeah. So it's hypocrisy and racism on the highest level. Yeah. I told you, these people are so racist, they don't even realize they're racist. You know how racist you gotta be to not even realize that shit is racist? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what we live in, and racism will never dissipate in this country. You gotta get over it, and you're gonna have to deal in spite of. Right? Get off the victim consciousness shit. For real. We're not victims. You know what I mean? If you're a victim, then that's your problem. Get everything you can and remove every single obstacle you can. If not, just sit home and blame the white man and blame everybody else for your level of dysfunction. All right? There's no pity parties. Right? Nobody. You got to go get it or you don't deserve it. But you have to understand the grand scheme. Now, that does not mean, for my trolls out there and people who are very literal, that racism does not exist. I am acknowledging that the system of racism is there and will always be there. I'm telling you, do not let that stop you from reaching your goals, whatever your goals may be.
Facts. So, DJ Vlad on Vlad TV, he released an interview with what's her name?
Ayanna
Jackson, who was the woman who accused Tupac of raping her, and that's why he got put in the jail and then death row. And then that kind of, you know,
it leads to a whole triggering of things that the destiny could have been tremendously different.
Right. The domino effect from that was kind of
wild. Domino effect was, it killed some people, a lot of bloodshed based on that single event. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. So I listened to her interview. Right. You can find it on Vlad TV. I don't want to get into Vlad being a culture vulture. I like some of his interviews.
I do too.
So I'm going to keep it a buck. If I see something that looks interesting, I click on it, because I'm not considering... Vlad ain't the issue. I want to hear what the person has to say. That's just
I mean, I think he just implants himself into a lot of things.
He does, which he doesn't belong or
Right.
shouldn't be, and this and that nature,
right.
make himself seem he's more significant than he is.
But other
He
than that-
is a vessel who has millions of followers, but I don't tune in to hear Vlad.
Right.
I tune in to hear what Razcast gotta say.
Right.
Or wow, I never knew this about this brother, or so forth and so on. So I
Right.
thought him finding Ayanna Jackson or her contacting him, I'm not sure, was very key because I wanted to hear this story.
Right.
We only heard it from Tupac's perspective, or those who were around and said that he didn't rape this girl. She was giving him brains on the dance floor a couple of nights earlier.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she addressed these issues, sort of. And I'm not knocking the sister, but her story just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm an analytical thinker. I go step by step, and when the steps don't connect, I double back to make sure I did not miss something.
Right.
Okay? Now, she being on top of Tupac fully clothed until some brothers walk in the room, and now they're taking her clothes off, but yet she continued to have sex with Tupac makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
I kept trying to play it in my head. I got a chick on top of me, fully dressed, and some dudes walk in and they peeling her clothes off, but wet, yet I'm having sex with her.
Right.
What part of the game is this? She looked to me like somebody who's been carrying stress for over 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, a tremendous, because I'm looking at body language and face. She looked like she was she's been carrying this burden on her. And one thing about the truth, and Willie D said this from the Ghetto Boys, and he has a YouTube channel, it never changes. The truth is, I can tell you the truth from now, 10, 15 years ago, and if it's the absolute truth, it never changes.
Right.
But when your story is not fully true, there are different components to the story, and then you got to start thinking, what did you say in the last interview? What did you say in the transcripts? You know what I mean? Because,
Right.
she got flustered a couple of times. No, they raped me. Then she had an out-of-body experience. Now, trauma can cause certain situations within, but she didn't appear too traumatized to me. But I wasn't in the room at that specific time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but that led to a domino effect.
Yeah.
When Tupac is locked up, and he didn't get locked up for rape. He got locked up for forcefully touching the buttocks. Process that.
Right.
Forcefully touching the buttocks. Grab him by the pussy, grab him by the ass. You see what I'm saying? He got arrested for that shit, or sent up for that, and sitting there idle, idle until the handler shows up. You see what I'm saying? The handler shows up when your darkest moment, when you down, you know what I mean? The handler, the nigga who turned the heat off in the house, and when you get cold, bring you a fucking blanket. You know what I'm saying? Hide all the food, and when you get hungry, bring you a cup of soup.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? To begin to gain your trust, and now you got Tupac sitting in the prison, and everybody telling him Biggie and them niggas are the ones who wet him up, and this and that, or whatever the case may be, and he's stewing and brewing, right?
Right.
And then the handler shows up, and the handler presents him with the world under X amount of conditions, that we're gonna do this, and that. Led to him getting killed, Biggie getting killed, and a whole bunch of people behind the scenes, gangbangers, blood members, this and that, all murdered as a result of that one specific night. Now, I don't know if that's destiny, you know what I mean?
That reminded me of the Dave Chappelle special, when he talked about the woman who lied on Emmett Till, and he was just like, yo, that one lie
Absolutely.
caused me to be here in front of you. Like,
Absolutely, which is a great special on Dave Chappelle. You need to go see it. Yes,
Right.
changes the course of history. The butterfly effect, right? One thing leads to a number of things, you know what I mean, that if you changed it back, what would it be? You know what I mean?
Right.
So she just looked a little flustered to me, and we're in a world now with the hashtag Me Too. Maybe that flushed her out,
Right.
and now she's trying to, ride that bandwagon as a victim. But her story, and I'm open. See, that's the thing about me. I'm open. Tell me the story, and if her story seemed convincing to me, I'd be the first one to come up on UrbanX TV and be like, yo, I think her story is real. Tupac did that shit.
Right.
Right? And then there are those who say, well, Tupac didn't have to rape anybody. Rape is not about what you have to do. Rape is about power.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I do know he appeared to have a certain love and respect for women in general. You know what I mean? He didn't come across as the misogynist type. You know what I mean? In my humble opinion. Dear Mama, his own respect for his mother, her trials and tribulations, Jada Pinkett, all the other women that he kind of grew up with. I felt that he had a certain respect for women that he wouldn't put himself in a position. Now, what happened after he left the room, he's not responsible for.
Right.
And maybe she felt bitter and she came to see him and maybe she thought there was a connection between them. You know, you get a lot of these women who, they feel there's a connection and then you probe and it's not a connection. And you move on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. And a lot of women invest their emotions in a lot of these things and feel a little scorned by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of the stories that are coming out from like the Me Too or Times Up. Some of the stories are kind of just like, I don't know, like the Aziz Ansari story.
Right.
When she wrote like a big story was published in a magazine, and then a lot of women were coming out like, yo, that's not part of the Me Too, man. Right.
That's not what we mean.
Yeah.
You had a bad date. You had a date that went bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? And listen, they're gonna cluster all of this into one gumbo, and it's gonna leave you more confused because still ain't nobody got arrested.
Right.
Ain't nobody coming out in handcuffs.
Right. I mean, people are losing their careers. Bro.
Yeah, people are losing their careers, but that may be a part of an even greater scheme of things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oprah Winfrey took Russell Simmons out of her book.
Right.
Wow. Now, what did that have to do with his spiritual insight that he added to your book?
Right.
Did you not know, Oprah? You know what I mean? Did you not know that these guys in the industry get down for the get down, and there are plenty of women who are available for the process? You know what I mean?
Right.
So by taking him out of your book, unless she's positioning herself for office and she's trying to show and demonstrate her allegiance to women and what women are going through and the time's up and the Me Too, pay very close attention because ain't nobody got arrested yet.
Right.
And when everybody's a victim,
no one is.
No one is.
Right.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful.
All right. So, you listened to the Migos album.
I did.
Okay. What did you think? I heard what you said on Eli's podcast, but I want you to tell the people on Urban X.
It was one of the greatest albums ever.
Oh my God.
Listen, when we judge these albums, right?
Right.
We have to judge them in their proper context. So I would never judge a Migos album next to a J. Cole album.
Right.
I wouldn't do it because it's not fair to Migos, and shit, it ain't fair to J. Cole to even be put in the same category. Or Kendrick Lamar, this and that. So when I listen to Migos album, because on Eli's podcast, the Wait podcast is on YouTube, we review albums sometime, and he'll give his review, and I'll give mine. And for what it is that they do, it was great. If the Metro don't trust you, how much you to the head? The Metro guy, what's his name? Metro Train or some shit. Okay, him. He did some production on there. I like the fact that it's 3 of them, so I'm getting a variety of mumble. It's not just one nigga mumbling, it's 3 niggas mumbling, you know what I'm saying? Change the energy up. I think they have a 90-word vocabulary.
And probably like 30.
Probably 30. I'm being gracious when I say that. And it's about ice, it's about women, it's about cars, it's about mumbling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have, but see, let me say this too for my people out there. When I say mumble, I'm not hating on the mumble rap. I've been listening to reggae music my whole life. I don't know what the fuck they are talking about in reggae. Except the Americanized reggae dudes who slowed that shit down and put the American words in. Shaggy, couple of these motherfuckers. Them really, doom. But let me tell you what they do have. An ill beat, so that's your rhythm, and cadence. Right? Ill beat,
right.
Cadence. But what are they talking about? I don't know. I'm usually up on some ass, back in the day in the spot, just getting my grind on. But I don't know what the fuck they talking about. Right. So that shit to me is fucking mumble reggae. Okay. Right? But the formula is a hot ass beat and cadence and rhythm. And Migos have mastered the hot ass beat through the Metro Train and their cadence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get the bag and tumble it, you get the bag and flip it, mumble it. You know what I'm saying? Mommy saw me on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
They have mastered that shit. They have a built-in audience.
Definitely.
They like that shit, right?
Yeah.
So I have to listen to it in that context. I can't put a Rakim album on and say, "Yeah, these niggas, Rakim was great." Yeah, that's a whole different album.
Yeah, I like, but here's the thing.
And that stir-fry shit is fucking hot.
Yeah, stir fry is fire.
Yeah, that shit is fire.
But I listened to the first album, Culture, right, and I liked it a lot,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So I wanted to like this one.
Is that Versace?
No, that was way back.
Okay.
But I wanted to like this album, but I just didn't. First,
Oh, that was Bad and Bougie. Bad and Bougie.
What's that?
That's
Yeah,
got
it was,
okay, that was on.
Right.
I like that song.
So, but in this album, I feel like was just more proof of what I said about like rappers and their egos. Like they think they can just do whatever. Cause that's what I felt like on this album. I felt like they just did whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna put my corporate hat on, Malcolm.
True, okay.
We gotta talk corporate, right?
I mean, we can talk corporate, but I'm just talking more.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but it's a thin line between that shit these days, right?
Yeah.
So,
it was 24 songs.
So let me
right?
ask you. Did Culture 1? How well did that do?
I think it did pretty well.
It was fucking phenomenal in the sales, right?
Yeah, I liked it.
So now when they go back to the record labels who paying them, they go, bruh, we want to stick with the formula.
Yeah.
We've been selling Whoppers at Burger King for 40 years. The Whopper ain't changed. Now they may remix that shit to flame broil Whopper with jalapeno peppers and this and that, but at the end of the day, it's a goddamn Whopper, right? Pepsi sells Pepsi. Now they might have a cherry Pepsi and a lime Pepsi, but these motherfuckers sell Pepsi. From a corporate standpoint, they're looking at the bottom numbers. What was successful for us 2 years ago, Migos? They said, we did this, that, and that, and that. You know what I need y'all niggas to do? Go back in and do that shit. Point blank. Now, from a creative standpoint, which has nothing to do with corporations and all of that, your struggle with being corporate and being creative force sometimes don't mix. I see this oil and water. Right? Creatively, you want to challenge yourself, right? And forge ahead. Say what you want to say about Kanye. He never gives me the same album twice. Right? He always trying to forge ahead and attempt to, because that's what creative is all about. Creativity is not doing the same things over and over. That's stagnant. That's becoming stagnant. That's like a pond of water with no stream, it don't flow. Mosquitoes, bugs, it becomes polluted. Right? Corporations don't care about that. They're not the ones in control of the culture. Right? They sit over it and steer it based to their own benefits. Creativity is something totally different. When Kendrick Lamar did the Butterfly album, I hated that fucking album. You know what I mean? It was a few joints. It was too G-funky for me. You know what I mean? But I understood fully what he was doing. He was being so creative, and he got his accolades for it.
He did.
You know what I mean? I respect that. When he came with the Damn, I was, I couldn't wait for Damn to come out. Because I knew it was going to be back to what I wanted to hear, his bars and, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more hip-hop flavor. But I understood. But that's a chance you take, right? Not from your fans, because even some of your fans might want the same thing. But your fans will come to love it if, you know, if you have a catalog already out that sustains itself. Corporate America, these niggas like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. You see what I'm saying? So that's the war that goes on in these corporate boardrooms where these people know nothing about the culture itself. And they're not concerned about it. They're concerned about money. The culture is your problem. Right? That's your fucking problem. Radio stations don't play music to balance out and help the community to grow and be positive. They playing the hottest songs because they selling shit. We forget that. Radio stations are not there to play music. The motherfuckers is there to sell products in a genre or a age group that benefits them. And a demographic. That's what that shit is all about. And the program director said, listen, these are the hottest 15 songs. I don't care about your DJ skill and you all creative and do all that old shit and you trying to break records. Nigga, play these 15 fucking records all day, every day. And if you don't, we'll bring another motherfucker in who will. That shit handcuffed Flex for a while.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, this is what the people ask if I gotta play this shit. Right? Well, back in the days, you could break a record. You could put some shit on and it become a hit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to be very careful because corporations have taken all of this over. You know what I mean? Right. And they looking to stagnate your growth by setting a bar that says you can't go past here. And what do? It ping-pongs back down to the younger generation, and if all they see is Migos, and shout out to Kendrick, who didn't have a mumble album, Jay-Z didn't have a mumble album,
right.
A few people did well. Rhapsody, no mumble there, You know what I mean? So when we were complaining that the world is coming to an end because these mumble rappers are taking over, the ones who got all the accolades was non-mumble rappers.
And the ones who sell the most are non-mumble rappers. If
you really want to get down to it, right? So let them have their moment, but understand the science of mumble rap. I put the piece up on UrbanX TV, and it went over a lot of people's heads. It's not about the words per se. It's music, it's cadence, it's style, it's rhythm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I just got finished. I don't know what the fuck them reggae dudes is talking about. I didn't know what James Brown was talking about. And the list goes on and on, but I can feel it. Back to Migos, I feel their music.
Right.
I'm new to the mumble rap world, but I like Migos.
Alright, so did you hear about Troy Ave?
Troy Ave, did he say something or?
Alright, so we're gonna take a little break. I'm about to show you a video that he just dropped.
Okay.
And I need you to give me your first impression.
Okay.
Alright, so we're back. And we just watched Troy Ave's video. It's called Too Legit. It's Too Legit to Quit. And it's an animated video, and basically in his lyrics he's describing the night of the shooting. What was that?
Yeah, I know the spot.
Yeah,
famous hip hop spot. You know,
so
New York.
What did you think?
That was the most direct dry snitching I've ever heard. That was like, wow, that's where we going with this now?
Yeah.
And now you know, there used to be a time where you could say that in front of a jury that this is just creative lyrics, these lyrics don't mean nothing. That time is gone.
Right.
That's why when dudes be in their house live streaming with guns and shit, the fucking FBI show up.
Right.
In real time.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is what they do now. They're sitting there watching, they're sitting there listening. 50 did the same thing on Holy Quran.
Right.
When he spoke about Supreme and those guys, he did it very cleverly. This was just direct.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he even said, like, it's either me or it's you. So he's basically said, like, I would snitch.
And basically he's saying for your man Tax, look, bro, it's me or you. I got these little kids, this family. I ain't do shit. You going down.
Right.
So we gonna be very, very, and very, very important to watch how this works out.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna be the new form. First of all, most of these rappers snitch on themselves anyway.
Right.
Right?
But that's the first time I even saw something like that. Like
that's the first time they usually snitching on themselves.
Yeah.
He snitching on a nigga, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The nigga who up on trial right now, or you know what I'm saying? Give him a stand for charges.
And it was Urban Plaza.
Urban Plaza. Absolutely. So this is gonna be the new form of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Snitching directly. This is snitch direct.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was crazy.
That was
animated video and the T-shirt. You know who he was talking about. Right. The T-shirt, pulling the gun. He said it can be under the guise of creativity, but we know what this really is.
Yeah.
Right? I tell people all the time, the feds now, they don't have undercover agents in the way they used to, who have to infiltrate your organization. They just go on your timeline.
Right. They
become your friend on your timeline. Right. Some of them starting shit in the YouTube chat rooms. This and that, but they get a cup of coffee and log on as Tony B. Black or whatever the case may be, and you know what I mean. They are now able to see each and every the movements of where things is going because that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
And no more street work. It's listening to the rapper. Okay, he's selling drugs. He's moving keys.
Yeah.
Let's go get his ass.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Right.
Then these dudes are on. They come on their Twitter later and be like, "Yo, niggas is snitching." No, nigga, you snitching.
Yeah.
You said you just popped a few niggas or you moving kilos. Nobody else.
Right.
But that's the world we live into. With this generation, they act like they don't even really fucking give a fuck. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep a close eye and see how this works out.
Right. All right. So with that said, this is UrbanX TV. Don't
Purchase my book,
Urban Culture.
Urban Culture Decoded at idecoded.com. We'll put it in the description below. I'm getting ready for Black Panther, as you can see. Me and my wife are going. My kids will walk in front of me and my wife and throw rose petals as we get closer and closer to the theater, and we will sit around and act like royalty. But that's what we'll do next. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep you posted on that.
All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe.
Feel me?
Like. All that good stuff.
And
This
share.
is Black Dot. I am out.
Peace.
Peace.